I want to welcome you to another episode of Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer, and I'm seated this afternoon reflecting on the qualities of a good daughter. For people who listen to my show or who know me, you know that I'm the mother of four. My eldest is male. My son lives in New York, and he is actively pursuing his comedic dreams, and so far he's doing some pretty good stuff. He is bright and brilliant and fun, and he is my best friend. So I don't tell him, but I'll tell you that actually it's very, very fascinating to know someone from in vitro, then see them grab life by the horns and take on all the twists, turns, and challenges that it brings its way with grace. And so I often sit back and think, when I grow up, I want to be like him. Then I have two daughters from my second marriage. I've been married 3 times. And they are what I used to refer to as my Irish twins because they're back-to-back babies. They're 18 and 17, and they live with their father. And these are my 2 daughters. And then I have the littlest one, who is set to turn 5 in July. And she's my turn-of-life baby. Well, what's interesting about this idea about daughters is that Mother's Day approached, and I realized like I hadn't done a Mother's Day podcast. And some of that was by design. Like I really couldn't think of one. I felt no obligation to speak of one. I have my daughters, and then I'm also a daughter, and I'm taking care of my mom. So all of these feelings was rushing in me and through me, but I could not anchor any of them. And then I happened to be with my littlest one. And I realized, I said, I go through a lot with her on a day-to-day basis, but she is a good daughter. And I can honestly say that. The 2 middle girls, I'm very strained with my middle, the back-to-back babies. And I'm strained with them because they got to a point that they was confiding in their father, who at that point I was divorced from, that they weren't happy. I went through a lot with that, with the dismantlement of that marriage. I lost a home, had to move. My mother came to me with cancer in her throat, had to walk through her cancer. I was being downsized out of public education, and then I turned into a career changer and moved on to higher education. And so that was a changing of guard and a shifting of skill sets. And then I had to fight him in child support court. Somebody who, we had almost been a Cosby couple. I never would have in a million years thought I would have had to fight him for child support. I actually had to take him to child support court and get him to pay funds. And in the end, he still fell short on that. But nonetheless, it was just so much going on. And in the midst of that, I started dating someone that I had known for a long time, who essentially had always been a friend. And I had a baby. And I had the baby because I wanted to have the baby. I had wanted one more baby. I just never wanted one more baby with their father. So I had this baby. I lost a house, moved a house, just a bunch of stuff. And at the end of the day, I kept everything as normal and consistent and as regular as I could. This was not a house of domestic violence, of drug addiction. There was no police being called. No one's going back and forth to jail. None of this stuff has gone on. I pretty much run a pretty basic, wholesome house. And I did remarry. My new husband brought certain challenges, which, new relationships do. But none that impeded on my children. He was just his own individual problem and process. But he was very kind and loving to the girls. So I was really taken back when their father texted me and said, hey, look, can I get a shot at raising them? And I'm a firm believer that I don't hold hostages. I don't take hostages. You don't have to, go behind my back and say anything. If you want to go, you can go. But I did put a great effort in trying to understand my 2 daughters before they left. And much of what they had to say was that standard coming of age, adolescent resistance. I don't want to help with dishes. I'm tired of watching my sister. Your mouth, you're too rough with your opinions. Just a bunch of stuff that when you're coming of age and you're fighting for your own autonomy and developing into your own individual person, a lot of what your parents have to say, your support system has to say, you begin to reject. And so there was nothing egregious that I had done. It was just, look, we want to be able to do what you've asked us to do when we're ready to do it. And so I had to really process that. I'm like, you telling me that you're willing to clean up the kitchen and help with your sister when you feel like it, and I buy your Kotex, your toothpaste, and keep shelter for you? I just couldn't. I couldn't make sense of that one. So they wanted to leave, and I gave them what they asked for, with one caveat. I don't take hostages. This is not a hotel. I said, you will never live with me again. You can go, but you need to make a life with your father. And for my listeners, I need you to understand there are lots of parents out here that have gone through similar things like me. And the custodial parent, the person that is given charge to take care of children every day, to still administer discipline, to still encourage, push, and support, they are never the popular parent. The popular parent is always the parent that pops up. Oh, yeah, let's go catch a movie. Oh, let me take you shopping. Oh, I'll be at the event. I don't mind dropping you off. That's the popular parent. But the parent that has to be right there in the trenches, that never leaves, wakes up, sleeps, eats, and drinks, moving that family, keeping that family congealed, is rarely popular. So on one hand, it took me a while to accept it. On the other hand, I can't say I'm even completely surprised that he could get in their ear like that, and that they found a space to take many of their disagreements. So part of their exiting the house, leaving the house, left me completely with the youngest, who, my youngest baby is different than all three. She is, the other three were always easygoing. I could drop them off with anybody. They were fun-loving. They were respectful, obedient. This daughter is the exact opposite. She is turbulent. She's difficult. She's loud. In fact, sometimes I really believe she has oppositional defiance disorder, because if you say left, she say right. You tell her put the shoe on, she say she not. Like, we went through her terrible twos was the terrible threes, the terrible fours, and each year she has gotten better as she's matured and tempered. But I learned quickly with my daughter that you have to negotiate. You have to talk with her. You have to listen. You have to explain things. And I wasn't used to doing that. I've grown so much with my daughter. I've learned that you can beat somebody into compliance, but to get them to be a thinker, a critical thinker, to get them to self-regulate, to get them to keep their emotions in order, now you're being a master parent. Can I instill things in her where she can control herself? Can I instill things in the situation where I control myself? And so we both have grown. And I can tell you, it has not been an easy task at all. But I will tell you that the littlest one is a good daughter. She is a good daughter. She loves me to death. She eats and sleeps and drinks about her mom. When I go out that door, if there's not one person waiting to see if I make it home safe, it's her. Me and her stepfather can get into a disagreement. She can be in the bathroom and she'll yell out from that bathroom, "Watch how you talk to my mother. Don't say certain things to my mother." And it took me a long time to receive that level of loyalty. Like, these things are just in her, as little as she is. And even though she can possibly lose the battle, she'll still get in it. And one of the qualities of a good daughter is a good daughter will always be there for you when you need her. Another quality is a good daughter will never make you cry. Like, she never makes me cry. The two older girls made me cry. They broke my heart. And they broke my heart to such a degree I couldn't sing and dance. And I went into a depression trying to process that level of rejection, that level of disloyalty. But the littlest one never makes me cry. She frustrates me. She irritates me. She challenges me. But I can honestly say me and her can fight, and we right back best friends. A good daughter will always listen to you. I tried everything I could to explain to my daughters that you're kicking me when I'm down. that the life changes going on. That 13-year marriage dissolved, and that was not an easy dissolution. That the restructuring of everything, as much as change happens every day, sometimes it was just too much change, and sometimes that's overwhelming for the human experience. And it was overwhelming for me. I was going through so much and trying to balance and manage everything, and they couldn't hear me. They didn't listen to me. The littlest one listens to me. She listens to me, and she inquires about whether I'm happy or sad, whether I feel safe, what my thoughts are, my worries, and I so appreciate that about her, and that's very natural with her, and I can honestly say it's an everyday experience. And probably one of the best qualities is a good daughter will never betray you and will always love and care for you. She offers to rub my back if I'm coughing. If I'm in the car and I sneeze, I can see her from the window telling me, God bless you. She's offered to rub my feet. As crazy as it may sound, if I'm in the bathroom, you want me to come wash your back, Mommy? No, I don't want you to wash my back, but thanks for the offer. She really extends a lot of love and care towards me. And it's like I told you, me and her can be in the midst of a battle, and someone else can walk up and say something, and she'll let them know, please don't talk to my mother like that. Don't treat her like that. I still think about when me and her dad was arguing, and she said to him, you hurt my mother's feelings. Don't hurt her feelings. And I said, wow, look at that good daughter. Now, she's 4.5. She can't whoop nothing, run nothing, don't drive, ain't been trained to use or carry a weapon. But, baby, you talk about a champion. Just the incredible qualities that make up a good daughter. She's loyal. And that's not anything you can necessarily build always in people. I know the military and gangs and stuff like that work on it, but it's nothing like when it's innate, when it's just in you. So I thought about it. I said, wow. It was almost like the good Lord knew that I would have two that would stray, that would get off course. Now, let me say this for the record. I love my two daughters. One, the oldest girl, that's one of my love babies. I wanted her. I love her. We look just alike, but we're very different. The one behind her, that was a throw-in. I had no idea. I was breastfeeding and had sex while I was breastfeeding, and they said that you could be, some people have myth is that you can have sex while you're breastfeeding and won't get pregnant. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is a possibility that you can get pregnant. How do I know? Because she's here. I had a very tough time keeping her because I wasn't ready to be pregnant. I was hurt. I was just losing weight, getting my energy back, and here I was pregnant again. But by the 6th month, as she was moving and grooving and twisting and turning in my body, I was so excited to find out who that person was. And so I love her as well. They're good young women. They're good people, but they're not good daughters. The littlest one, my youngest daughter. I told you that my son is my best friend. Well, my other best friend is my youngest daughter. She is my best friend, my companion. She's my ride to die. She's my fighter. She gives me breath and she anchors me. She angers me and keeps me alive. And it's always in a righteous place. You have to be in a righteous place with her because she'll give you a reason to get rid of her, not to love her, to be so frustrated with her that you don't want to be bothered with her. And just at the point you think that, she throws that love all over you and it's a wrap. You can't stand her, but you can't help but love her. You have daughters? I have 3. 2 nice girls and 1 good daughter. If you have a good daughter, embrace her, enjoy her, love her, sacrifice for her, invest in her. A good daughter will always be there when you need her. She'll never make you cry. She'll always listen and she won't betray you. And all the days of her life, she will love and care for you. You've been listening to Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer. And until we chat again, be safe in God's grace.